sake. Alright, my persuasive argument or essay is about why introverts make better leaders than extroverts. So you further understand my mindset as well as comprehending my compelling arguments supporting my main idea or topic. I would to mention, just in case anyone's unfamiliar or confused with the title, mainly focused on individual's personality type being either an introvert or an extrovert. I'll better explain what exactly both personality types mean and represent. They are total opposites in personality-wise. An introvert is usually the quiet person in a room who likes people but is focused inward toward their thoughts and or what's going on in their heads. Has to be alone or around fellow introverts they trust in order to recharge or refuel their energy. Usually doesn't feel the need to party every night, and on the other hand, extroverts are people, they're the opposite. Loves to party and be social with new people. They pay attention to what's going on around them rather than what's going on in their heads. They love to be out and about, in which these types of people recharge from being around other people or around a big social setting. Wondering which type of personality you fall under? Well, according to Susan Cain, there's a simple way of thinking about it and will help you know which one best fits your personality type, saying that introverts are content, stable, and most at peace, are content and stable when at peace. Extroverts are happiest when excited. Author Susan Cain began her career as a lawyer at Harvard School, graduating in 1993. After 7 years, she decided to leave her practice. She then wrote the best-selling book of 2012 called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. And she says that over 1/3 of our population happen to be introverts. In fact, according to Susan Cain, most schools, workplaces, religion institutions, and are organized with extroverts in mind, even though many of the achievements that have propelled society, from the theory of evolution or the cat hat, which came from people who were quiet, cerebral, and sensitive. Even in other areas like politics and activism, we have Eleanor Roosevelt and Gandhi, two famous introverted people of their time or era securing their place in the history books. She gives cutting-edge research on biology and psychology on how introverts can balance their emotions and feelings depending on the situation or environment. She believes introverts have an advantage in leadership with the ability to process through big ideas without being distracted by merely social interactions or fixations. A common problem introverts come across is being awkward, weird in a social setting. In the real world, introverts know they must fight against their retiring instincts in order to succeed. Despite all the introverts' natural gifts, most are used to seeing extroverts take charge even when they don't deserve it, suggesting that introverts are especially suited to leading equally motivated people. But don't get me wrong, because if you have lazy workers and need to fire them up, you should find an extrovert. Susan gives Susan gives a great example of this that can be understood from an all-time famous movie or movies called Star Trek. Whereas on the bridge of the Star Enterprise, it crystallizes the nicely well-liked, risk-taking James T. Kirk serves as captain, while we have the reserved Spock as the first mate who figures out the technical stuff. You then have a characteristic leader with the reticent nerd in a supporting role. These qualities often make for great leaders, and proud introverts like to point out certain famous examples, like Abraham Lincoln, and sometimes mentioned as a great involved leader. Much of what we read from Stephen Harper and Barack Obama suggests both men are introverts. The air of aloofness they can project through the television is a strong hint. Importantly, to remember that introverts can actually do extroverted things, just may not be in their comfort zone, while extroverts are drawn to trial work. It's about time introverts assert themselves to create a quieter, slower world more to their liking. Adam Grant says, a small but growing body of research shows introverts often make better leaders, often to successful ones, largely because they actually listen to what other people say. If more introverts took charge, we might all be better off.